Alright, let's see what's going on with this. We got same done. Saw the stupidest debates. Let's get it. Solving the stupidest debates. What is some crazy debates that y'all think what it is? Did I hit my intro? Oh no, I didn't. What's up, y'all? Show some much death. We're back in the video. What is some crazy debates that and dumbest debates that y'all got in the comments? Comment down below. For all my new videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow our social media, gonna pop on the screen. We're on the road to 500. Let's get it.
Personally think a lot of these debates can it's argued. And I personally think a lot of these debates can be looked at objectively. Now, some questions are obviously deeper than others.
Other niggas had your bitch outside.
It wasn't my bitch.
Then shut the f up in 2020.
You sound dumb.
But as you read the title, these are ones that I consider stupid.
Where's the parachute?
I thought you said parachutes.
And ones that can be answered pretty easily.
That's crazy.
But when I look at some of the most popular arguments, I realize that we really just be fighting about anything. Water. Is it wet? Is water wet has to be a troll. What do you mean is
Bruh, oh my god, son. You know how many times so much people argue about this through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter? Bro, like, this is like a history run. That's gonna be a history run since, like, till I'm an old man having a crunch and talking to my grandkids about, then they ask me, Grandpa, is water wet? And I'm gonna say, well, back then in my days and stuff like that, like, golly.
water wet? And for the people that are still confused on my stance, yes, it is. I don't know about you, but this looks pretty wet to me. Yes, the implications of something being wet is a solid interacting with the liquid and making it wet. But deep it though, even though water is a liquid, water is covered in water, right? When was the last time you had one water molecule? If you're gonna sit here and tell me water's dry though, you are a complete jester. Anywho, next question. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Now, if you're not a complete lunatic, everything in your mind is telling you a hot dog is not in fact a sandwich. But it's the same sort of thing as the is water wet argument. You know, like the definition and the outline of what a sandwich is would technically make a hot dog a sandwich. That would be if a meat rocket was not its own category of food.
A hot dog basically is a sandwich because it's like basically the same bun. All you gotta do is just like, it's really just you opening it. Like, you know how it's like basically like making Philly cheesesteaks, but just a different type of bread, but miniature size bread. So I take that back. I think no, hot dogs is low key a sandwich.
Do not put meat missiles in the same conversation as sandwiches. Just look at the way you eat a sandwich versus how you eat a meat rocket.
Okay,
these are two very
okay. Man. Nobody eat no hot dog like that. Like, no, bro.
Different experiences. And also a sub technically has that same sus.
That's what I'm saying.
And most people will consider that a sandwich. In my personal opinion, subs are way more sandwich-like than a glizzy. And Franks also only have one bun. It's not even close to being a sandwich if it only has one bun. I'd say that's closer to a pizza than a hot dog is to being a sandwich. But I was already pissed off reading some people's backwards logic for why a hot dog is the same as a sandwich. But then this nigga has to say it's a taco.
Look, some people need to be gone, bro. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I take that back then. You know, I was right in the first point. But I was looking at it different ways, though.
In order for shit to get better. He one of them.
And for our next debate, this is a pretty recent one that went really viral. And that's 100 men versus 1 gorilla. And from my observations,
I mean, it depends, though. It depends. What 100 mans that we got? We got the average 100, like, aggressive mans, no weapons, no nothing, fighting against a gorilla. Mind you, it ain't like everybody, like the 10 people is not going to charge up and try to fight this gorilla. Like, let's keep it. The only reason why a gorilla will feel threatened if you run up to it, start screaming and hollering, talking about, and start doing some stuff like that. Making weird noises and stuff like that. Now, till then, I physically think 100 man could low-key beat a gorilla. Not going to hold you. Because, like, bro, on some like calm, smooth stuff, like ain't like the gorilla watching his back the whole time, and it's like, oh well, he could pick up this and that, blah 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 blah. I mean, look, if those people in the Where Island could get a monkey like that, I know 100 people, unless they like a bunch of sumo wrestlers. A bunch of the Rock built, and a bunch of strong people. they might have a chance. Now, if it's just a bunch of skinny guys that don't never live in a day in their life, and they would just went to school and you learn and becoming a gamer. We could.
This one is like a 70-30 split, with 70% of people believing the gorilla would win and the other 30 believing the men would win. But personally, I think if you had like 60 people all dedicated to f***ing up this gorilla, I don't think it stands even a chance. One gorilla versus 100 people. Bro, 100 people is just overwhelming numbers. You got 2 people grabbing each arm, you got 2 people grabbing each leg, someone kicking straight meat. Like, tell me I'm not onto something. Okay, I was in fact not onto something. The original plan was just to glaze 100 humans and talk about how we would just overwhelm the gorilla, but I took it to myself to ask ChatGPT for help. And in order to get a representation on how difficult it would be to fight the gorilla, I asked what animals is weak to humans as humans are to gorillas. And since a gorilla is roughly 4 to 9 times stronger than a human, ChatGPT came up with a common marmoset. Now, what the fuck is a marmoset, you ask? I was picturing something maybe the size of a small dog.
What the dog doing?
Why is it the size of a human hand? I am easily clearing through 500 of these. But then again, I'm also more intelligent than a gorilla, so I'll at least have some strategy. So who knows, bro? Until I see 100 men fight a gorilla, I'ma just have to leave this one open. But for our next debate, I'm not gonna give it any build up. It's this fucking dress. And if you see black and blue, you're lying, but the dress...
Black and blue? Go back?
I'm not gonna give it any build up. It's this fucking...
Yeah, y'all must be colorblind, bro. And like, bro, I know times that my mom joked and played that I was colorblind sometimes, but this is like actually dark blue and black, bro.
Dress. And if you see black and blue, you're lying, but the dress is in fact black or blue. You know, just because one thing is one way doesn't mean the same thing can't be another way.
What the hell are you talking about, bro?
Because yeah, the debate has been closed for a minute now. The person that took the original photo took another one and said it was black and blue. And it was in fact the lighting of the dress that affected how it looked. And I'm not even trying to be different, alright, but I'd honestly say the dress is gold and blue. And I knew I wasn't tripping, alright? Color Select says that's the colors that are projecting into my eyes. So yeah, the real dress is black and blue, but this fucking ass photo is gold.
Cereal is not soup. The only reason why I say cereal is not soup, because soup is like mixed with other stuff, like tomato soup. Putting that for example, I don't even eat that like that. Peas, potatoes, green bean, tomato chops, and a little corn, and with the little noodles. That's a soup. Like chicken soup, that is soup. Like milk and cereal. Cereal, that's milk. Milk come from the, also the cow. Cereal is poured in the milk. That is not no soup. That is way two different things. Like a soup is different from milk. Like the sauce of the tomato sauce of anything is different from milk. And same as chicken thing. Way different.
Soup. And before you even say anything, yes, I know the argument, solid food inside liquid, served in a bowl. Technically, that is soup behavior. But we just all know cereal is not soup. If somebody hands me cereal and calls it soup, I don't trust the hands that prepared that food.
Right.
Okay, on to our next debate. How many holes does this shirt have? First of all, what kind of fucking shirt is this? This is some shit niggas would wear if it was Rick Owens. But I'm not gonna...
Oh, God, Sam. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody pull up on a fashion show and they flicking them up. They like, oh my God. I don't even know. I'ma just name a random rapper name. Mama put me as support. Oh my God, Luke Phil baby. I like that shirt. Yeah, I mess with it too. I ripped it the other day, type stuff. Like, come on now.
Gonna lie, this one's more like a riddle because a lot of people forget to include the hole in the neckline and the sleeves and underneath. Most people would say it has 2 holes, but it actually has 8. So this wasn't really a debate until people started arguing on whether a hole is just one hole, if it has an entry and an exit. But for the answer to this question, I'll simply have to say that holes don't actually exist. They're nothing but a concept art. Because think about it for a second. A hole is literally just the absence of something. It's not a thing you can hold, it's not a thing you can grab. It's just where something used to be, but isn't anymore. Which means technically speaking, a hole is just nothing.
Nothing?
But now my brain's overheating, so instead let's just move on to a debate that's somehow even more pointless, but also way bigger.
Massive, dude.
This is probably one of the biggest debates of all time, and it's gender wars. Who is better, woman or man?
Alani finding out of Orem, Utah. Let's go, baby.
I mean, out of this generation, I'm not gonna hold you, saying it's slowly getting to both. It's like it's out of you seeing in the internet girls doing some stupid stuff, or like the niggas doing some stupid stuff too. Like in general, it's 50-50 to me. It's 50-50 because the only reason why I say it's 50-50 to me, because it's like, bro, both sides always end up doing some dumb stuff, always trying to have a argument with each other that don't even make sense in general. And then they have pointless statements and during like briefer talks, or like in arguments, or in general, whatever they doing. And then like, yeah, okay, cool. Dude's good at sports, and they ain't saying, oh, not the knock on wood, girls ain't good at sports, but let's just keep it a nice good buck. When I was in school, our girls team was good. But was they good enough to go to top 28 over and over again? I guess not, to be honest with you. Not to knock on the wood. But a lot of people say the WNBA is it's not the not doing the best asset. It pay a lot of the money. Though. And mind you, I love my women. But in general, y'all, I mean, that's 50-50 with brains, because I know some smart people with girls and dudes that I went to school with, and they could go like multiplication off of back to back to back and good at that. And they was in like class and stuff like that. But that's a story from another day. Uh but I feel like sports is way more interesting, and I ain't saying it's not interesting for females to do it, but not to knock on wood. Sports is more interesting, and let's be real. Sports is more interesting for a dude, the dude of dudes playing football and basketball or baseball, than a female is playing basketball or like baseball or volleyball. Like, unless unless you into sitting down there and watching this stuff, that's on you, mind you. I have my fair share of going to female games and watching them and cheering them on. And that's high school days. That's back in high school days. I didn't about to be 21. But in general, it's better interesting. It's like different categories, in like, if it was like a bracket, I would say no gender is really better than no gender, because in general, without us niggas producing to the females, they would even never have kids in general. Cause now I took that to somewhere else, but let's get back on traffic though. It's very, very different, and y'all probably gonna be like, "Oh my God, you're crispy. You're just yapping now." No, I'm sorry that you got a freaking small freaking pay attention. You can't pay attention to very well. Just listen and add on to the comments, because I had somebody in my on my other video talk about, "Oh my God, you're just yapping." Oh, well, just listen. Just listen. Comment. Put your input to it. That's all you gotta do, my nigga. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, what was it? If you think a dude is better than a girl in life and anything, that's your opinion. And if you're a girl, you think girls is better than dudes in life, that is your opinion. But in general, this earth is 50-50 for everybody. For everybody gender. That's for everybody. To be honest with you. That's why I say it's a different category. Women is more like cool Like I'd rather see like I would trust a nurse in the hospital, and I will only trust. Well, no, I only trust a nurse and a doctor, and like when you go to the doctor. But when you go to the hospital, yeah, I still trust that, but I need a doctor dude too. You know, shout out to all my women that doing the nursing stuff. You know, I trust that. And dudes wisely, man, if I'm putting a parlay on a dude for sports and all he got to do is score a touchdown and hit a little type of little dance, that's gonna do that. That's what I want to do. But it's different categories in general with that. I just wanted to go to like little details and expand that stuff. But in general, same. Just know it's 50-50 in my book. No, no, I think the boys would beat the girls. No.
And it all seems to be the same thing, alright? Women saying all men are like this, men saying all women are like this. And at the root of it, it's just clearly a human.
That's what I hate about females too. They would love to say niggas ain't shit. And then you be dating them little crusty ass niggas. Yeah. The only reason why niggas ain't shit cause you mess with them the dirtiest nigga. They don't take baths. They always want your shoes. They always want money from you. Take your car and use your car. You mess with them crusty niggas. You know what you was getting to when you was messing with that man? And his whole family was telling you that boy don't take baths? Come on now. And same as dudes. You know old girl was messing around the whole block. Why you wanna you knew she was messing with little man, little John, and she would messing with Tyrone and Marcus down the block. Come on now. And Demetrius.
Problem. But apparently that's not a good enough answer, and no one will stop until there's a clear winner. So who is objectively better? In order to decide this, I've decided to borrow this power comparison system from this One Piece edit. Now it was used to compare Roger and Shanks. We're gonna use it to compare man and woman. Before y'all complain, this is a very scientific system. 9 and 10 doctors approved. And now we have round 1, strength. Now the men are gonna take this first round. The heaviest weight ever lifted by a man being 510 kgs, and the heaviest weight lifted by a woman coming it close at 325 kgs, which is still insane, by the way. If somebody told me to pick up 325 kgs, my spine would just Gwen Stacy.
Yeah,
sorry ladies, the men are gonna take this one. And for round 2, we have speed. Okay, let me just stop. Cause at the end of the day, fighting about gender is so pointless. Because what is the desired outcome here? The complete annihilation of the opposite gender? Because last time I checked, the human race requires both sides of the argument to even continue existing.
Exactly. Good job, SD.
And what I find so stupid is these giant overgeneralized statements that would imply an entire gender is just the scum of the earth. Like saying kill all men.
What I do?
That would imply there's never been a good man that's ever lived ever. Just the addition of the word some does so much. But people don't do it because it doesn't rage bait hard enough. And rage baiting is the reason that 90% of people do gender wars, even if they realize it or not.
Call me delusional, but I think 100 girls can easily beat that gorilla.
And I've heard
Just stop, bro. Not today. Today's Friday. It's March 13, man. Like, golly, man. Just stop. Just leave it alone.
arguments like it's not all men, but it's enough. Which, what is the implications there? You saying I'm one of the good ones?
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
But look, even if 100 men or women did you the worst 100 times in a row, they still another 4 billion men or women. And now those 100 grimy niggas now represent the other 4 billion. And the end result of this is just 2 groups of extremely online people convincing each other that the opposite gender is a different species.
The older I get, the more I realize that women are humans.
But finally, for our last debate, this one might actually be the stupidest one yet, but the question is, if you punch yourself and it hurts, are you weak or strong?
If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. You know what,
This debate is so dumb. If you punch yourself and it doesn't hurt, that doesn't prove you're strong or weak. And neither does punching yourself and being in pain. The only thing you're proving is that you're not incredibly weak. But listen, right, if a kid around the ages 10 to 13...
why are you thinking about punching yourself in general, Sam? That's what I don't get about like some of these questions. It low key like that be having you rethink about life, like that have you be like, what made you just came up with that question? Like I don't know, bro. Yeah. Like, that's a never-ending war. You'll never win that one.
Haymaker my unsuspecting chin at full force, right? It's most likely going to hurt. That doesn't mean the kid is stronger than me. It just means I got punched in the face. Unless it's one of those kids like in East Bay at 12 years old. Okay, maybe he was stronger than me.
Yeah, unless that dude was lifting weights and freaking hitting push-ups every night on some freaking military stuff. Attention! Drop down and give me 50. Like, come on.
But also, if I was to swing full force at Eddie Hall, former strongest man in the world, big brother guy. Now this is gonna go one of two ways. If my theory's correct, I knock this guy clean out. If not, my hand is going this. But I've been told I end my videos too suddenly. So,
yeah, it's about time for me to dip too. Anyway, see y'all when I see y'all. Love y'all to the bottom of my heart. Winner of the 500 and I'm out.